Hey, Teresa here. Welcome to my channel, Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to be showing you why beeswax wraps are better than plastic wrap. Plus, I'm going to show you how to make your own, including this cute little gift pack. A beeswax wrap is a piece of cotton fabric that has been coated in some melted beeswax, which can be used to store food, cover food, transport food from one place to another. You're going to use this essentially anytime you might use like plastic wrap, cling film, or even Ziploc bags, and that reduces the amount of plastic going into the landfills, which is definitely a plus. I also just really like using them because they're really colorful and fun. I've made them in all different shapes, using all different fabrics, just to make it a little bit more fun and bright and exciting when I'm looking in my kitchen for things, when I'm opening up my lunch for work. I really enjoy having these as a little accompaniment to whatever I'm having. These are so easy to use. All you need to do is take whatever it is that you're going to want to wrap up, put a beeswax wrap over the top, and press gently, not using a lot of pressure, just allowing the heat of your hands to melt the wax enough to allow it to take shape, and then you have a good airtight seal. When you're finished, all you're going to do is peel off the beeswax wrap, wash it in cold soapy water, and it's good to use again. I'm going to just show you a couple of my favorite ways to use beeswax wraps now. If you are going to be covering, say, half of a lemon, all you're going to want to do is put the cut side down, bring up the sides, and allow the heat of your hands just to melt that into a little shape. If you wanted to cover over, say, a piece of cheese, you just put the piece in the middle. I would say you're going to get a better coverage if you actually put the square or larger items at a diagonal, and then you're going to want to bring over the edges. Again, just pressing to let that melt into shape. One of my favorite ways to use beeswax wraps is to make a little parcel to carry things from one place to another. So you're going to do some very simple origami just by folding one corner up, folding the two straight edge corners over, flipping that top corner back, and then you have a neat little pouch that you can use to store something inside of. When you've got something in there, you're just going to fold this flap over the top, press gently with the heat of your hands to let that top bit seal, fold that little flapped edge over once and another time just to get a good seal, and then that is good to go. Nothing's going to fall out, and you can take that along with you. So now I'm going to show you how to actually make your own beeswax wraps. Most of the things you're going to need to make beeswax wraps you should be able to find around the house. What you are going to want is some 100% cotton fabric. You are going to need beeswax. There isn't anything that's specific, I would say, apart from I prefer going for organic just because it's going to be on my food stuff, and you're going to want a decent quality beeswax. So I would say cosmetic grade is generally going to be food safe. And my preference is also for the small pellets of beeswax. You can get an actual block that you can then grate with a cheese grater and then use the small grated pieces to melt with, but it's just a lot more messy. You then have to wash the cheese grater afterwards as well. If you get the pellets, it's just really simple and really easy to clean up. You need an iron, just any old everyday household iron is completely fine. You need some kind of non-stick baking paper that you're going to use to layer the fabric and the wax in between. You will need some scissors to cut out your fabric. I would say ideally you want to use some pinking shears. So pinking shears are the scissors with like a ridged or a zigzag edge. The reason you want to use that is because that just makes sure that you're going to have less fraying over time as you use these. But if you don't have them, normal scissors will be fine. You're just going to probably have to trim them down a little bit more often when the edges start to fray. You might want some kind of measuring tool like a ruler. Quilting rulers are really great for this. I would say this is really an optional one because you can honestly cut these of any size and shape that you want. Just eyeball approximately how big you want them to be. But if you want to be precise, you're going to want something that you can measure with, and then along those same lines, you're then going to want some kind of marking tool, something that you can use to mark the measurements before you cut them out. Another option that I would recommend is an old towel. So I use an old towel instead of an ironing board. I just fold it in half, and I feel like that's actually thick enough that I can iron on top of that without damaging the surface that I'm ironing on. You might prefer to use an ironing board, but you're gonna at least wanna put something down over the top, because as you're melting the wax, some of that wax can ooze out between the pieces of paper, and you can end up making a whole mess all over your ironing board. So at the very least, cover your ironing board over, or just use an old towel like I do, fold it over, and you should be good. When you're measuring your shapes and cutting them out, a good starting point I find for your first wraps are going to be a small and medium sized square and a small and medium sized circle. The sizes that I use the most in the squares are a 10.5-inch square, that's my smaller square, and a 14-inch square, which is my bigger one. The circles, I prefer to actually take something that's already round and trace around it rather than trying to cut out a circle with my eyes, sort of eyeball that one. So I use a dinner plate to actually measure the larger circle and a side or salad plate for the smaller circle. So for my own plates that I have, the large one is a 13-inch and a smaller one is an 8-inch in diameter. But I would say that this is pretty approximate. I think whatever dinner and little small side plates you have are probably going to work absolutely fine. This is my setup now for making the wraps. I've got everything all ready to go. I've got my old towel folded in half. I've got my 2 pieces of nonstick paper that are layered up here that I'm going to put the fabric and the wax in between. I've got another piece of greaseproof paper just off to one side. So once I've made the wraps and I've let them cool so that they're not hot, they can still be warm as long as they're not hot. You can then lay them onto that other piece of paper to cool completely. And you can even stack those up when they're still warm, and they're not going to stick together as long as they're not really hot. I've also got my wax ready and my hot iron all heated up and ready to go. To start the process, all you're going to need to do is lift up one of the pieces of greaseproof paper that you've got layered, put your fabric down with some beeswax on top. You do not have to be precise with where and how sort of evenly distributed this beeswax is. It can be really kind of all over the place because as the wax melts, it's going to liquefy and spread to cover any areas that you need it to. So you're just going to put the other piece of greaseproof paper on top, use your hot iron, and just press over that, not using any pressure. It's really just the heat to allow that wax to melt. Once you think you've melted the wax, you're going to want to peel up that top layer of greaseproof paper, have a look inside, and you will usually spot some areas that are a little bit lighter, a little bit paler, that haven't taken on the wax, and you're just going to top up a little bit of extra wax in those areas and then re-iron. When you've completely finished, you're just going to peel off that top layer of greaseproof paper, pick up the fabric from 2 corners. It is going to be hot to touch, but it's not going to be burny hot. It will just be a bit hot on your fingers. Lift that up, and then you're just going to waft that fabric around, allowing it to cool down in the air. You'll notice that over time, as it's cooling, it's going to be less liquidy looking, less of a fluid drape to the fabric, becoming a little bit more structured, a little bit firmer, a little bit crisper. And you'll also feel that it doesn't feel as hot. It just feels a little bit more warm to touch. And once it's warmed enough like that, and it's no longer completely floppy as fabric, you just put it onto the greaseproof paper on the side and you're good to go for the next one. Now, one tip I wanted to share that I have noticed is as you're making these over time, you start to get a bit of a waxy buildup between the layers of greaseproof paper, but you don't want that wax to go to waste. So what you can do is actually lay the fabric down directly on top of the clumps of wax that you can see on both sides of the paper. Put the hot iron over the top of that, and that will melt the wax into the fabric. That's probably not going to be enough to cover a wrap completely, but you will find that you will then have to use a lot less to top it up to get decent coverage. As I mentioned before, over time you're going to want to remelt some of the wax on the beeswax wraps. You will know you need to do this when you're seeing that you're getting a lot more of these creases that aren't going away. When you try and wrap something up, it's not quite as sticky, it's not sticking to itself, it's maybe flopping open when you try to wrap something up. So when you get to that point, you know it's time to try and revive your wrap, and I would say it's a good idea to do this every kind of 3 to 6 months, just depending on how often you use them, also depending on the thickness of your fabric. So the lighter weight fabrics you're going to have to do a little bit earlier than the heavier weight fabrics. Once you are ready to go, all you're going to do is very much what we've been doing all along. Put the actual wax wrap between your layers of nonstick paper, and if it's the first time you're doing this, you probably don't even need to add any extra wax. You can just remelt the wax that's there, and this is even quicker than making the wraps originally. If you do that and you pick up the wax wrap and it feels a little bit thinner, it doesn't feel quite as structured, you might want to add a little bit of extra wax. And I would say certainly the second time you're remelting these, you're probably going to want to add a little extra just to make sure that there's enough wax on there that they'll last longer. I do know that there are people who have beeswax wraps but don't actually use them a lot, don't feel like they know what to do with them. So I thought it might be nice to run through the things that I use them for, just to give you a few ideas. I will say they're fantastic for any kind of fresh fruit and vegetables that you're going to want to store for later that you've already cut in half or cut segments out of. So for example, melons are really great, lemons, cucumbers, halves of onions, tomatoes. So if you've cut a portion off and you want to keep it for later, cover it with the cut side against the beeswax wrap, and then when you open it up later, you're going to find that it's less dried out than it would be normally. I would say avocados are one of my favorite uses for these wraps. So when you are having half of an avocado, maybe for a sandwich or avocado on toast, if you have the cut side then right up against the beeswax wrap itself, it's going to go browner less quickly, so it will stay greener for longer. And I found that if I'm having something one day, the other half of the avocado the next day, it's still nice and green when I go to use it, which is a big plus for me. One of the reasons this is going to be the case is because the beeswax wrap itself has antimicrobial properties. So it has actually bacteria fighting cells within it, and it's going to keep your bread fresher for longer for the same kind of reason. So I love these for bread and bread products like rolls, pitas, loaves of bread. I make a lot of my own bread, so I do find that I get a lot of use out of these. I usually make a bit bigger than the big square size that I've shown you, so probably about twice as long, and that is usually pretty good for covering a homemade loaf of bread. But you will find on bread products they will be less dried out, they will go stale less quickly. The crust actually stays a little bit crunchier for longer as well, so overall works really well. I use them for covering any kind of leftover foods, wrapping up things like cooked meats, cheeses. I will use them for sandwiches for work, so I'll just wrap it right over the sandwich, just making a little parcel all around it. I also use it for cutlery, so if I'm going on a picnic or if I'm having maybe a soup or salad for lunch, I will put the cutlery inside a wrap just to keep it secure while it's traveling from A to B. Like I said, I use these really a whole lot, and I hope that other people can see more uses if you didn't already know all the things you could do with them. There isn't a ton of things that you want to be avoiding with these. I would say for sure you don't want to use them with any raw meat or fish, and that's just because you cannot properly wash them with hot soapy water to kill any bacteria from there. You also want to try and avoid things that are a little bit more staining, so tomato sauces, anything that's too oily might actually get into the fibers, the fabric itself, and you're not going to be able to clean that so easily with the cold soapy water. Now, big tip on this one, because I have made this mistake myself and I did manage to save my wrap. What I did is I actually cleaned it with hot soapy water, which you're not supposed to do, and that actually rubbed off some of the wax and allowed me to clean the fabric itself. And then all I had to do once it was dry is top up the wax a little bit, remelt it, and then it was good to go again. I'm going to show you now how you can make a little gift parcel if you want to share these with other people. If you did want to give these to somebody as a gift, I think a fun way to do that would be to make a little variety pack of some different sizes and shapes. In each of these, I've included a large and small square and a large and small circle. I did also think it would be nice to make a little matching set, so these are the ones that I was making in the video today. In addition to making each of the sizes there, I'll show you I've also included a little pouch that I showed you how to make, and this is actually filled with some extra beeswax. So I thought if you're giving this as a gift, it would be an extra nice treat to include a little bit of beeswax. So when you give them to somebody, they can top them up over time and get them to last even longer. So I hope that's inspired you to try using beeswax wraps and maybe even making some for yourself. If you do make them, I would really love to know about it, so leave a comment down below or tag me on Instagram. I'm at Lost My Thread. If you do make them, it would be really fun to see how you enjoyed my tutorial. If you do have any general comments or questions about the process, tips on how else I might be able to use these, let me know, because I am all about these wraps and want to use them in more ways than I already do if I can. And if you did like the video, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!